Affirmative constructive, which is 6 minutes of case building from David Pfeiffer. Give it up for David.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good evening. My name is David Pfeiffer, and I shall be arguing on behalf of the affirmative. Now, tonight's resolution is as follows. It is good to have children. Now, I'm no big city lawyer. By any means. But it's like my mother always used to say, pulling apples for pussies. Now, our value premise this evening is the ultimate value, that of happiness, the end to which all others converge. Now, how ought we best to measure the impact of the resolution on our happiness? The simplest and most straightforward method would be to judge the resolution's impact on personal growth via Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, as I'm sure we're all familiar with, Maslow's hierarchy is a very simple pyramid. Okay? With 5 different levels.
Sorry.
Now, in each of these levels, there are certain categories of need, right? And each level has to be met before you can go up to the next one, all right? So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to demonstrate how the resolution that it is good to have children will support our value of happiness by demonstrating that having children will allow you to move up the levels of the pyramid, and at each level the kids will provide invaluable benefits, and that if you were to not have children, you would live a life that is barren and joyless. So let us begin. So the first stage of Maslow's hierarchy, the first order of needs, are those physiological needs. Okay? Now, what are physiological needs? Physiological needs are things like food, shelter, and sex. Okay? So here's how kids are going to help you achieve those goals, okay? In regards to food, all right? Now, children historically have gone to work, okay? You can send them to factories, coal mines. They have small hands that are good for stitching soccer balls. Their small hands are also very useful for reaching down between the car seat and the console to pick up fries that drop down. So there's various ways they can be used to procure goods and services that way. Now, it may not be the highest and best use of the child, but you can also, in famine conditions, eat the children, as they do have complete amino acids.
Stupid.
Now, moving on to the shelter portion, having children does make government housing more accessible. And again, given extreme weather conditions, their skin and bones can be used to make tents. Their hair can stuff pillows or provide insulation. Now, in regards to the sex portion there, now some of you may think that you're against sex with children.
Don't do it!
But I would argue that we're all aware of the cultural significance of sex with children. Exhibit A, Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page had sex with a 14-year-old girl. Rolling Stone's Mick Jagger, also 14 years old, sex had. Aerosmith, Steven Tyler had sex with a 16-year-old. David Bowie, a 15-year-old. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Elvis Presley had a 14-year-old. R. Kelly, you all know about that. Ted Nugent adopted a 17-year-old so he wouldn't get charged with kidnapping. Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers had a 14-year-old. Marvin Gaye, a 15-year-old. Iggy Pop, a 13-year-old. NWA's MC Ren, 16-year-old. Chuck Berry, 14. The Eagles' Don Henley was caught with the 15 and 16-year-old by an EMT. And of course, we all know Tyga messing with old 16-year-old Kylie Jenner. It stands, ladies and gentlemen, that sex with children is the foundation of the music industry. Now, if you don't want to live in a world with good music, that's your choice. But I'm reminded of the story, The Ones Who Walked Away from Omelas, which is a story about a society in which the unrestrained prosperity of the many is predicated on the abject misery of the few, and that doesn't sound like America. I don't know what does. So that's your physiological needs. Now moving on. You got your
running out of time.
Okay, I'll go fast. Okay, safety needs. You can use them as human shields. Okay. Can also get you a lifeboat on the Titanic. Okay, going up to loving and belonging. Okay, they can't leave you for 18 years, unlike adults. You can indoctrinate them with your own prejudices, things like that. Esteem. Okay, you're gonna get way more likes on some dumb baby pictures than any kind of original content. And then, of course, self-actualization. If you get here, you can actually learn to love another human being as an end unto themselves and thereby love yourself, all right? Because at the end of the day, none of your art is ever going to be remembered, okay? But your DNA can potentially live forever until the sun explodes and the universe experiences heat death. But that, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, is why it is good to have kids. So, my name's David Pfeiffer, and like any good parent, I yield the remainder of my time.
Guys, get over Dave. Dave's gonna stay up here. He's gonna stay up here, and we have cross-examination by Rich Williams.
How you doing, David?
Excellent, sir.
Before I get into the questions, I noticed you have on a gray suit, beard, watch chain. How long have you been dressing like a Confederate general for? How long?
Well, this is a traditional look.
Okay. Apparently, in the Confederacy, sleeping with kids is a thing. You are obviously an R. Kelly fan. Question, do you have any children of your own? Do you have any children of your own?
We have 2 cats.
Do you have any human children? Do you have any human children? The answer is yes or no.
We're going to start.
Yes or no? Do you have any
later
human children?
Not at this time.
Human
Not at this time.
children. Not this time. Excellent. Okay. Have you ever been peed on, sir? Have you ever?
In fact, I have.
Did you like it?
No.
You did not like being peed on. Make sure you know that. Didn't like getting peed on. Do you like the way subway platforms smell? So it is safe to say you didn't like getting peed on, you didn't like the smell, you didn't like any aspect.
Although, to be fair, if having gotten peed on had resulted in a hit album, then
Let's go on to the next question. Said you could use the skin bones of children to make shelter. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a question. Yes. Another good question. Okay. Having sex with kids produces good music. Is that that's how you feel like we're gonna go up this hierarchy of human beings?
like I said, it's not necessarily the best and highest use of the term, but it is an option.
So let me get this straight. The basis of this pyramid is physiological preservation, right? So using their bones for shelter, using their organs for sex. using their bodies as food, right? Using them as human shields. You think this is going to protect the physiological needs of the children?
Well, again, we're talking about you as the adult, right? Because you can't achieve self-actualization if you starve to death, right? You can't achieve
Can the child
self-actualization.
achieve self-actualization?
No, but you can always make more children.
Can the child achieve self-actualization if they have been eaten? Or used as a human shield? Or used as skin and bone, as their skin and bones to provide shelter for the family? Just a question. How much time do I have?
One more question.
I gotta have 5 minutes, man.
I know, she didn't start the timer though.
So you're just guessing right now?
Yeah, seems like
Did you ever sleep with your sister? Because everything you talk about sounds like some inbred shit, so I'm just trying to figure out a little bit about your background.
No, I would only ever consider with someone outside the family.
Please note that he would
Sicko.
consider sleeping with his sister. Please note that. I get kind of.
one more, whatever.
This is so much to cover here.
I still might run long.
Oh, this is another thing. So, going back to how you feel like having children benefits the music industry, who would you rather see twerking? Cardi B, or what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown. Who would you rather see twerking?
Well, I'm not familiar with the second one, so I guess
That is a child. I don't know her name. It's a child.
the grown one.
The grown one? Okay. Please note that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, you know the